Hello and welcome back to the United Devil channel. Hope you're doing extremely well. I'm JB and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing extremely well. I've basically just come over to do a vertical stream just because, I'm just I decided just to come back to this because basically the other stream just wasn't working really. So look guys, I hope you're all doing extremely well. Everything is annoying me right now. Criminal game. Absolutely probably one of the worst games of football I've ever seen. So much for the manager bounce. It is words for me just don't describe it. Words for me right now just do not describe how bad this is. Look, the first thing to say is get into this chat, get into this community. This is the best community on this platform. As we all say, be respectful to me, be respectful to the community. Otherwise, the ban hammer comes out. We don't like to do. We absolutely do not like to do. It's not something that we want to do, but have no doubt that we will do it. Any disrespect will not be tolerated on this channel. So yeah, get in there. Scott is in the house. Dino is in the house as well, and give those guys some love, and of course give yourself some love as well. Obviously not in that way, but because I don't want you to be giving yourself self love whilst we're watching the football, because that would just be weird. But of course, yeah, that's fine. So look, guys, get into this chat. Let me know what you think about the game. Let me know what you think about the new coach coming in. The interim coach. We can talk about that after the match as well. Diabolical. Just awful. Awful. At present, Mark Harris says, when you're waiting for United to come good, you can always clean your gutters. Mark Harris, legend of the chat, exactly, mate. You can always go and clear your gutters. You can always go and wash your cucumber. You can do anything you like. You might as well go and have a little bit of fun, right? I just have no words. I literally have no words for this right now. This is just. Dino says another 45 minutes of dross. And look, I know many of you, like Mike Harris, legend of this channel, and we've spoken about Amorim now, but also, to be fair to him as well, we have spoken about these players as well. It was just a combination. Ty says United need to get a top manager. Ty Hussein, I agree with you. I do agree with you, but Ty, what you need to realise, and I'm going to keep banging on about this because somebody will eventually listen to me. Talion says take Kloppo. We could have a combination of Klopp, Pep, Fergie, Paisley, whoever. Nobody's getting a tune out of these players. Nobody is getting a tune out of these low IQ players. Look at them. I am in some respects tonight. I feel there's a vindication tonight. What camera do you use? I use a combination of cameras actually. I tend to use my phone when I'm doing a normal stream, or I'm using a tiny Osbot. It's called. You probably know that, but yeah, it's called a tiny Osbot 2. Or also sometimes I will use when I'm making a video, because I do actually have another channel, and for that channel I use a Lumix camera for that. So what am I on? I'm on 46.53. So I'm good, still 10 seconds behind. Sack the board. I do agree. We need to sack that board. Yobro, Cunha, better score or assist as a Vang. United need a Ranić gutting. The owners need to give a manager full control. He will need time. Amorim wasn't that guy. Mark, mate, again, my friend, respect the opinion. Mark is always the voice of reason. The problem is, Mark, whilst I will in the annals of time probably accept that maybe Amorim wasn't the guy, there is no manager coming into this. And also, Mark, I do agree that you've got to give a manager time, but he's not going to get it. Like the point I'm trying to make is, it doesn't matter who we bring in; they're just not going to get the time. Trust in Fletcher. Look at those two cretins sat there. Those two cretins sat there with their big coats on and their fucking gloves. Absolute cretins. Watch Mourinho come on and perform a worldie. Amorim would have put in a better performance than this drought. And I feel vindicated for Amorim tonight. To be honest, we lost a good manager. Plug Spark. I think the term is, I think we burnt a manager. The one thing I do like, and some of you will disagree on this one, the one thing that I will say for Amorim, which makes me like him even more, is that he wasn't going to be a yes man. He wasn't going to be a puppet. Amorim engineered his way out of this club. Amorim, as a coach, saw the writing on the wall and wasn't a yes man. Norman Stanley Fletcher porridge. I love it. Hope United wins, says Simon. How we losing, says Alfie. Because we're awful. Ollie at the wheel. It's going to be. Look, I said this yesterday. I said this morning. My source, my contact has been on it so far. He said to me, or sent me a text saying that Carrick, that Ollie is probably the man that they're going to get. Carrick came in this morning to sort of fight for the job. Shesko, well done, Shesko. Finally. Oh. Finally. Look, I'm not going over the top here, by the way. I'm glad he scored. I'm pleased for Shesko to score here. I'm not going to go mad. No. I am pleased for Shesko there, by the way. I am really, really pleased for Shesko. I am extremely pleased for Shesko there. Oh, finally some good news. First piece of paper over the cracks, says Dino. Zane says hi. Hello, my friend. First piece of paper to cover the cracks, exactly. Alfie says United. Martinez. I mean, Shesko's playing well today. I like Shesko. Leeds versus Newcastle. I bet that's a good game, isn't it? bet that's a good game. The current team is not so bad. There is a coach needed who is able to make it. No. Look, one of the things I will always say on this channel is, look, I do respect your opinions. I really, really do. It'll be 52-16. 52. 52-40. What are we on? 55. 55. Oh, 10. 55. We need a new midfielder. Put a sub for Ugarte. Scott says, sorry, mate, have I missed it? Scott says, I bet if Amorim went to City, he would be amazing because they have play-to-play system. I agree with you. Shesko's playing well. The current squad is not so bad. Look, Italian Nervo. I respect the opinion. I do respect the opinion. I disagree with you. I disagree with you. These players are not good. There are a handful of players that I would keep, but outside of that, individual brilliance, says Dino, is the get-out clause. It really is. We need a new midfielder. Put a sub for Ugarte, mate. I think we should all be clubbing together. I think we should all be clubbing together to get rid of these players. Ferguson must be laughing inside. Spurs are losing 3-2. We will take a corner. I have to give it up for the away fans as well. By the way, the away fans always do a fantastic job. Always. So Premier League, Brighton 1, City 1, Chelsea 1, Fulham 2, Wolves 1, Everton 1, Villa 0, Crystal Palace 0, Brentford 3, Sunderland, Bournemouth beating Spurs. And we always do revert back to type as well. We always do. So where does it currently put us? So at the moment we basically remain sixth. I mean, what an opportunity! What an opportunity tonight to go. In fact, to go fifth. I think that's right. Fifth. So if we win tonight and we go fifth, is this club seriously going to write off a season? Heaven has to be scoring that there. We do need corners, Alfie. We do need. Who would you choose to be the next manager? Now, Blades of Midas. Now, again, if you've watched the show, I'll explain my answer because, and like, I want you guys to, I want you guys to say, let's bring in a let's bring in a Conte, let's bring in like whoever it is, right? I want you guys to say that, right? The manager that I would choose for this club, heaven should have scored Alfie. The manager that I would sign would be a manager who's going to have to work with these players and limited signings. So Blades of Midas, there is no point in me saying that I'm going to want a manager like a Conte or like a player who's going to want to have, or a Xavi who's going to want their players. My top choice would be Emery, because I think that Emery would do wonders in this side. He's used to playing with a side like this. I think he could do wonders. The problem is that he's not going to come to the club. Now, any decent club would go into Villa, and this is no disrespect to Aston Villa. I would go and offer them an amount of money to go and get him out of Aston Villa. It's not going to happen because we don't have the money. We're skint. So therefore, I think the manager that we'll get will be somebody like a Glasner. I think they're going to want a coach. I think they're going to want a yes man. I don't know. If I was going to pick any manager, for me, it would go and probably be Emery. I think as much as he's not the glamorous choice, he's not a Xavi, a Conte, Simeone, I think Emery right now for what we need. And we scored, apparently. Oh, what have we been saying? Why would Emery downgrade? No, exactly. And Dino and Scott, what have we been saying all season? If you give Shesko an opportunity, if you feed him, Shesko is not rubbish. Shesko is not an awful player. We have been saying this all season. We have said this. Give Shesko time. Dino, exactly. We've been saying this. I've been saying it. Dino's been saying it. We have been saying this. Give Shesko time and he will be a fantastic player. This is what we've been saying. Give Shesko, and I am, do you know what? Of all the things to come out of this week, I am so happy to see Shesko score. I would love to see Shesko. And look, this is testament to this channel, right? The testament to this channel is this. The things that we say on this channel, most of it, we want Shesko. Shesko is not crap. Scott has been said, look, Scott, me, Dino, many of you have been saying this. To call Shesko a flop isn't right. We have been saying this for such a long time. Shesko, you've got to give Shesko the ball. If you give Shesko the ball, he will score. And I wonder now how many people. And look, we've been consistent on here, and we've got pelters. I've said Shesko. We've said it. Scott said it. Shesko is a good player. I wonder now how many people are going to say Shesko is trash again. I'm so pleased for Shesko. I'm so pleased for Shesko. I'm going to change the score. I'm going to change the score. That's how pleased I am for Shesko. Oh, seriously. Henderson account says, boom, good for Shesko. Dino says Shesko needs the ball to feet. Team haven't done that, and when they do, he does the business. He's young, still has a lot to learn. He will come good. Give him the right balls, he will bang in. And this is what we've been saying, guys. We've been consistent on many things on this channel, and our support for Shesko has remained the whole season. We keep saying if you give him the ball, he will score. Shesko has looked good, and I mean, Jason Wilcox, I know my Barada right there. I mean, they must be shitting their pants. They must be just praying right now. They must be praying right now that they get this right. Let's get the hat trick. You look, Shesko get his hat trick. Jamie Vargas says Shesko finally showed up and shows what he can do. You've got to give Shesko the ball. We've been saying this on here. Scotty's been saying it. Dino's been saying it. I've been saying it. Shesko will come good. Shesko. James says Manchester is blue. It is blue, mate, because it's bloody cold. It is blue because it's cold. Wilcox and Barada are dumb and dumber they are. Praying that we don't collapse. Exactly, Dino. Yeah, he has. Manchester is blue. Yeah, it is blue, mate, because it's cold and full of ice and snow. Walker's going to do his big long throw into the box. No, is he? Is he? Oh, this is. So Mason Mount is on. Euro is on. By the way, I forgot to mention that. 2 and up. Let's see if these guys can do it. I'm back, JB. I'm home safe and sound with no midgets. That's always good to hear, Nikarutsu. Always good to hear, my friend. I'm glad that you're back safe, mate. Get this out. Come on. Vamosi needs a hat trick. He does. Jesus, says Michael. You're the best. Thank you. Wait, my eyes are deceiving me. We're actually winning. I know. We are. 2-2. Awful. But this is what we are. It doesn't surprise me. This is what we are. I'm not going to go mental. I'm not going to go mad because the passion for this team right now isn't there. The passion for this club is there. You know, again, we've got an opportunity. We've got an opportunity to go fifth. And when I say fifth, I mean you go fifth by rights. We've got an opportunity here to go fifth. We've got an opportunity right here to go the same points as Liverpool, and this team will throw it away again and again and again. And this is what we are. This is what we are. I wonder, are we going to capitulate? Free kick to Burnley. Free kick to Burnley. We can always do this. It was good goal, but what the F was Martinez doing? Who knows, mate? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what any of these people are doing? Oh, it's still a lot of time, I know, and that's the sad thing. Like watching Lauren and Hardy pinball football collapse, incoming JB. Everyone prays, says Alfie. I am. I've got everything crossed. They should be out of sight. Defending was so poor. Henderson's account, mate, is just... so poor. So poor. I'm waiting for Michael Usher here to tell me the result of this free kick, because I will lose. I'm going to be Wrexham fan. 19 shots a line. 19 shots. Oh, and Dino, right? People that don't watch the matches will see the 19 shots and will basically think that we've played well. Oh. Let's look at the stats. So the stats are 65% possession, 19 shots, 8 on target, 4 big chances, 87% passing, 19 shots. Where did those 19 shots score? Where did those 19 shots come from? By the way, no. Burnley with 36% possession. Burnley have 36% possession. United have 34% possession. You've got it the wrong way around. But apparently we've had 19 shots. I don't know how we've had 19 shots, by the way. Exactly. Yeah. No, Dino. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying it. But as you say, Dino, people that watch this match, who don't watch this match and look at the stats, they're going to be fooled into thinking this has been a typical performance that we've seen game after game. What is the difference? Bruno Fernandez looked ineffective. The media was saying when Bruno Fernandez comes back, many of you were saying that Bruno was going to come back into this. Bruno's done fuck all today. Mitch says Anthony is a curse. When was this? 19 shots. Wow, that's a lot for a bad team like this. Ooh, no. They count any sorts of shots. Burnley are on a counter. There is no midfield. Evang says, why is when watching a watch along we don't watch the actual game when you're talking in the background? Because you can't. I can't stream. There is no Evang. There is no way that I can stream the football match live. If I was to stream this game, I would be sued and my channel would be closed down. I watch along on the basis that we come together, we talk about the match, we talk about the game, we can talk to each other. Look, this is more about a community of fans watching the game together. So for me, that's what this is about, is that we share our views, we watch the match together, we talk about it, We have a shared passion. I'd get fined. I'd get banned. So yeah, so that's why not. James Bray says, Casemiro cost us the first goal. Bruno set up the goal and hit the post. We lost our threat when Bruno went off. And James, look, Bruno Fernandez is our best player. Is our best player. You know, James, and there is no doubt that Bruno Fernandez is our best player. It doesn't mean he is the best player. It just means that he is our best player. Menu's coming on. Xerxes coming on. Michael says, expect a bit more from Fletcher this evening. To be honest, I thought he would be he'd be animated and give some oomph from the sideline. Shesko, okay, but we needed a goal. Anyone to be fine. You'd make a good bunkie in jail. Well, mate, they would love me in jail. You know, I've got nice, soft skin. You know. Will you go back to supporting Arsenal when you get 100? Will you go back to supporting Arsenal when you get 100,000 subs? Well, you know, I'll yes, I will do. I will go back to supporting Arsenal. I love it. He's our best player, but he doesn't mean he's the best player. Talk about James. What I mean, James, is this, right? Is he's our best player, but it doesn't mean that that's a good thing. Bruno Fernandez, James, and we can disagree to agree, and I'm not talking out of my arse, this is just my opinion, right? It's a bit like this, right? Casemiro is our best midfield player, right? No, he hasn't, has he? Am I that far behind? No, I'm not. But what? Look, James. Relax, my friend. Right? I'm going to explain to you. Not that I need to explain to you, but I'll explain to you word for word. What I'm saying to you is Bruno Fernandez is our best player. Right? But it doesn't mean that is a good thing. Casemiro is our best midfielder, but he wouldn't get into a top 4, top 5 side. And you can argue that we are a top 5 side, but Casemiro wouldn't get into a top 3 side, right? Bruno Fernandez on his day is a fantastic player. But Bruno Fernandez for me, and this is just my own opinion, is Bruno Fernandez's time to go. Bruno Fernandez has been a fantastic player at this club, 100%. But it's his time to go. He's not a captain. He's petulant, but he is our best player. He is our best player. Can you summarise why United owners are bad? Oh God. Are you really going to get me started on this? You're really going to get me started on this. Let me read through the chats, and then I will. I'll give you my opinions on it. Why's the sound gone off? Oh, this is doing my head in now. I will come on to that, by the way, because I do think that you make a good point about replacing Fernandez. I do think that that's a valid point, and I'll give you the both sides of my argument. So. I will come back up for that. Peter Moran says, hi, hello, Peter. Can you summarise? Yes, I can. And I will do. Bruno is 31. He's not going to be around for that much longer. Exactly. I think United could beat City. Nope. So you wouldn't get much money for your best player. You also wouldn't be able to replace him with that money. So look, I'll answer that one first. You do make a good point. I can't argue the case, right? We had an opportunity to sell Bruno Fernandez for £100 million. We didn't take that chance. Okay, I said, go back. The videos are there. If Ruben puts his faith in Bruno Fernandez, doesn't take the money, it is going to get him sacked. Right? It's done and dusted. Whilst I do absolutely agree that you can't, to get a Bruno Fernandez replacement, whilst you wouldn't get him for that sort of money, whilst I do agree, Bruno Fernandez is 32. How much money do you realistically think? Why do you think that we're going to get money for him? Bruno Fernandez is not the future of this football club. He's 32 years old, right? I don't want to replace Bruno Fernandez. I don't want another Fernandez. I don't want a team to be built around a player. There is no top class team who win things that are based around a single player. You can argue Salah for Liverpool, but Liverpool didn't just build a team around him. He was one of the components. I don't want to build a team around one player because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It absolutely doesn't work. So look, I want Bruno Fernandez to go. He's not a captain for me, and as such, the only way that he's going to go is basically by taking the captaincy. And I absolutely don't agree that Bruno Fernandez is the future. So I think if we can get money for him now, you reinvest that money. I think you may get 15 to 30 mil max. You are restricted financially. Name a player that takes his place. But that is the point though here, isn't it? If you can still get £50 million for him, I'd rather take that money and invest it. Look, I think Bruno Fernandez for me is a very, very divisive player, right? I respect the Bruno Fernandez speech. I absolutely respect it. But Bruno Fernandez has not been good for, I'll say a year, but I think it's longer for that. Bruno Fernandez doesn't turn up in the big games. Go on, Xerxes. Oh my God. Bruno Fernandez is one of these players who doesn't show up for big games. Liverpool 7-0. Where was he in the Grimsby game? Where was he in the... and for this amazing player, for this captain, for this amazing player, we had a chance to go into the Champions League. He was the captain. He should have grabbed that game by the scruff of his neck, and he didn't. He didn't. Bruno Fernandez goes missing in the big games. Now, look, tonight, Bruno wasn't great tonight, and you can have your say and argument and say that he was. Bruno Fernandez is not the player that he was. He's 32 years old, and to answer that question, I don't want to replace Bruno Fernandez. I don't want a team built around a singular player. I want a team that is a team. How long has Bruno been your best player? Do you think you're going to do better with a lesser player? It makes sense to build around him. Signature, it doesn't. How can you build a team? And look, how can you build a team around a 32-year-old player? Look, that's your view. I'm not calling that. In my mind, How can you build a team around Bruno Fernandez that is not the future? Bruno Fernandez is not good enough. Bruno Fernandez is made to look better than what he is because of the crap around him. Bruno, when he came to this club at first, what a fantastic player. Fantastic player. But Bruno Fernandez, in my view, is a stat padder. Look, if Bruno Fernandez was such a great player, where has he been for the last year? He captained a side that finished 15th last season. He captained a side that when we went to the Europa League final against the Spurs that had half a team out, he couldn't bring his players up. If he was this amazing captain. But look, I absolutely respect the fact that people like Bruno Fernandez. I absolutely respect the fact that, and I'm not saying here or suggesting that Bruno hasn't been our best player. I'm not suggesting that Bruno Fernandez isn't a good player. All players come to the end of their cycles, and Bruno Fernandez is that player. And look, and the signature said, I mean, is he better to keep even as a squad player? And the signature, this is where I agree with you. Right? I agree with you. Right? I would happily keep Bruno as a squad player. Look, the reason why Bruno has to go, right? And again, tonight you're raising some fantastic points, right? Shea Lacey. Oh. Shea Lacey. Oh. Oh. So to go back, the New Year says you looking forward to coming to the Den next season. No. So the signature. I would absolutely keep him as a squad player, right? But the reason for me he has to go is because he is the captain. There is no way that you can take the captaincy off of him without him leaving the club. And I think that would be absolutely correct of him to do. He's been the captain in this club. If Bruno Fernandez, for me, would accept not being the captain and would be another squad player, I would keep him all day long. But the problem for me here is that he's not a captain. He's not. And the only way you're going to remove the captaincy away from him, and also to me, I hold the captain in a higher regard, right? There are only two clubs for me where the captain transcends the players, transcends what goes on the pitch, and that's Liverpool and us. Our captains are more than just players on the pitch. They have to embody everything. And I'm not just talking about walking around talking to people. I'm talking about when they are on that pitch, they tackle, they run. And look, you can argue that Bruno Fernandez does run, but it's not in a way that can inspire a team. So for me, I have to hold him up to not only a player standard, but to a captain standard. And he is not a captain. However, if you took the captaincy and freed him and said to me that he was going to be, and a fit Maguire should be a captain, no. Delict for me would be the captain for me. So look, that is the reason for me why Bruno Fernandez would have to go. But I would absolutely keep him as a squad player. Look, I would free him up. I would let him do his thing, and then I would pass the armband on. So look, this is not just as simple as I want him out because he's this awful player. There are so many constituent parts to this. Oh, Dallo. Oh, I will come back onto that. First moment to get me off of my seat in a long time, says Sully. Bruno has slowly turned into Rashford for a period. He was brilliant, but as of late, his performances have not been consistent enough as a captain, and I agree. I think Maguire should be a captain, not for me. We can finish this. Surely a win isn't asking too much. It's going to be another draw. He was a poor choice of captain, but who else could they have picked then? Look, I can't disagree with you. I can't. It just goes to show for me the limited and bad players that we had. I don't blame the club for picking him as a captain, and I think you're right. I think he was probably the best of a bad bunch. But it just, in my view, it just goes to show the limit of this club. Primet says we are really missing De Ligt. Did you find the video of G? Oh, I didn't actually. I didn't. I will look at that. Game today is for at the back, makes no difference. Not another draw. Yep. I'm an Arsenal fan, and we have leaders throughout. And signature. And this is exactly what I'm saying, right? This is exactly why Arsenal can bring through young players. Is because they've got a team full of leaders. Everybody in that team, even though they haven't won a league, they are leaders, right? So you can bring in these super young players. That is why Arsenal will go to the depth to win games, right? We don't have that. We don't have a single leader, a single winner in this squad. Glory to Man United. I'll catch loads of flack for this, but I like this setup better than a back three. It's not the setup for me, Primot. It is not the setup. I think Amorim's back three was fine. For me, it is these players. It is these players. And they've shown again, these players, how limited they are. United guy, don't forget how much time Bruno carried your team. I am not disputing. In the past, Bruno Fernandez has been the best player in this team. My only response to that, and this is not a dig at you, Mitch, is this, right? Bruno Fernandez gets paid 300k a week. He should be carrying this team. He should be carrying people shopping. Bruno Fernandez doesn't do this out of the goodness of his heart, right? Bruno Fernandez hasn't carried this team for 18 months. Bruno Fernandez, if he was going to carry this team, would have carried us into the Champions League. This season we've been crap. Look, I am not saying I'm not saying that Bruno Fernandes in the past hasn't been that player, but he's not that player now. You can't keep, when it comes to players, right? They get older, they get worse. You can't keep looking as Fernandes as that 27-year-old, 28-year-old player, because he's not that. Because he's not that. His past endeavours are fine, but has Bruno Fernandes inspired us to a Premier League? No. Has Bruno Fernandes inspired us to be into the Champions League? No. Bruno Fernandes has inspired us to an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup. Why is that best in class? Why does that make Bruno Fernandes this amazing player when if you actually look at what he's done, yes, he scored some goals, yes, he's done some good stuff, but the output when he walks away from this club. He's walking away with an FA Cup and a League Cup. Why does it? I don't get, with all the legends that we've had in this club, with all these winners we've had in this club, with all the things that we've done, all the things that we've won, why is Bruno Fernandez pinned up as this poster boy, as this amazing, fantastic player, when we've had, you can argue, worse players, but they are better players in terms of the things that they bring to the side, the things that they offer, and they've won stuff. This Bruno Fernandez stuff, you can talk about stats and you can talk about goals, but what is it that Bruno Fernandez has actually done to say, we've won a league? I don't care if we finish second, I don't care if we finish third, I don't care, great. Nobody remembers number 2, right? And I don't care if we nearly finished second. That season under Ollie, we finished number 2. We weren't getting anywhere near winning that league, right? Bruno Fernandez, all he's won at this club is an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup. Not for me. Not for me. Not for me. Awful game. Oh. Oof. Lacey loves it. Jones says, what are you talking about, you weirdo? He's the best player in the side and leader. You can't expect one player to bring you the Premiership. No, but Jones, right. This is my point. Just because he's the best player in this shit squad doesn't mean he's a fantastic player, right? And he's not a leader, Jones. He is not a leader. That's your view. The game is over. 2-2, absolutely horrific game. Not good. We've not learnt a single thing. Absolute just. Look, I'm glad Shesko has scored 2 goals. Look, people can banter. People can say what they like, Scott, because they sort of will, right? But people can't handle opinion on certain players. I fully respect people's opinion. They've got their opinion. I've got my view. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. Doesn't mean that they're wrong. Doesn't mean that I'm right. It's just people don't like it when you attack their favourite players. It's absolutely ridiculous. So look, 2-2. I will do a match reaction as well, but I just want to get to the end of this. So look, what I'm going to say now is I would say watch over the next, again, couple of hours, possibly tomorrow. We will get the announcement that Ollie is going to be the interim manager. I think that United are now going to look to spin this. As I said, they will probably try and spin a positive on this, as they always do. This is what United will do. believe it or not, I did say basically at the top of the show, I got a bit of a text tonight with Eyes and Ollie. One of the things that I was told, depending on how the Burnley result goes tonight and how much kickback gets back from that, the reason why they are holding off announcing it is because they want more of a coaching structure in place to support him before they announce it. But depending on after this match and the kickback, they will look to announce it. Tonight. So unless anything's changed over the last couple of over the last hour, I'd watch it. Watch the next couple of hours. Watch tomorrow. Where they can, they will look to spin this. If there is kickback from this game, they will announce the new interim manager next couple of hours tomorrow. So let's talk about that game briefly. I will be back at about past, but let's just get through the sort of end of this bit, and I'll get through your comments as well. Sally's, well, let me see what I've missed. Let's have a little look. Signature says they have given him the captaincy because they wanted him to stay, or he would have left during the woeful years. And again, I think you make a good point. The signature tonight is on it. So he says, setup made no difference. This is what I mean. People like, I don't know what people see exactly. We need Fergie time. Burnley stopped pressing for 15 minutes, then made subs, and it was exactly like the first half again. Shaw not tall enough to bring the ball down. We need Fergie times. Fans portray Fernandez as this god who shits and don't stink. With 300k, you're right, he should be carrying the whole team, and people shocking. Another damn draw. Burnley is so bad in the attack. How did they score twice? Because we're us. It's probably the result Amorim he would have got. I don't agreed. Same old bullshit. We can't talk about the system. We can't talk about the system and subs. Now tell me this: would there have been any different if Amorim was in charge? Niku says Lacey looks lethal. Lacey looks very, very good. But Lacey looks very, very good. What's funny is Burnley nearly catching West Ham, Stratford, and relegating them more. Mighty Red says Ollie is at the wheel. You guys actually might beat City. I can't lie. Tom says get Lacey involved more. Get him on the wing. Tom, spot on, mate. Spot on. Nico said we didn't lose, and that's positive. One game a week, and they play like that. Exactly. Ollie announcement by 12 o'clock tomorrow. Put some money on it. I think Ollie. Yeah, I think Ollie will be announced. I do. I think Ollie will be announced. Watch the next couple of hours. And watch tomorrow. Ryan says tomorrow morning Ollie announced as to be their plan. Thank you so much, bro. I like you. Thank you, my friend. Fletcher out says Grace. People talking shit can't even see the positives. What are the positives? Look, again, nobody's going to call you out. What are the positives? If you can tell me the positives, other than Lacey coming on and looking good, other than Shesko scoring two goals, what are the positives? Bring back Amorim. Big up JB and all the chat. Rob Legend. Primat says, I can't handle all the bitching and moaning. What can you do? Look, I get it. But I just think people are tired. And look, Primat, mate, I am here to answer I'm here to give my opinion. I'm here to give you your voice. The problem is that if we don't bitch and moan, then the Glazers get away with it again. I get it is frustrating. I get it 100%. But unless we are vocal and keep getting this up, change will never happen. With Amorim, it would be 0-10 win. Ollie gonna shit in a jar. Give Lacey more game time. Ollie's at the wheel. Individual performances are the positive. The genuine guy says, I've been going to Old Trafford since 1979. We are possibly the worst United team I've ever watched, and it's a disgrace. Now, look, I'll always say this. I will always give the Matchstone fans a big up. I always believe that a fan is a fan is a fan. It doesn't matter wherever you are in the world. I always give a special mention to the Matchstone fans because you guys are the ones who've been going for 50 years, 40 odd years. You go there, you travel, you spend your money, your time, and people who go to the away games as well. It is, and you have to watch that shit. And look, if any of you, and this is not a dig, if any of you want to get somebody's opinion right now, genuine guy, go to the games, right? And I'm not saying his opinion's better than yours. That's not what I'm suggesting, right? But what I'm saying to you is listen to a guy that goes there and watches this crap. Rowena says, so go bridge from Wish. I like that. You don't ban her for that. That was quite funny. Look, the funny thing for me on here is that people live up his arse. I've got no opinions of the bloke. I don't know his stuff. But what is really funny is that his fans seem to be threatened because the amount of times he gets mentioned on here, it's almost like their fans feel threatened, which fucking makes me laugh. But Dino, good job, Dino. Dino, good job. Dino has got my back. Dino, legend. Let's have a coaching staff made up from every single manager since Fergie left. Surely they can cobble some results together between them. Elton says Bruno is carrying United right now. Elton, mate, I'd love to drink or smoke what Bruno Fernandez is not carrying this team. Shesko, Sam says Shesko has had the most shots on target in a single game amongst all strikers in the Premier League. That means Shesko is getting more of the ball. Yeah, but we drew. We played shit. Like, you could give Shesko the ball 90,000 times in one match, right? Great. So Shesko's had the most shots in a single game than all the strikers in the Premier League. Great. So why did we just draw to Burnley and why were we so dog shit? I don't get it. Mitch says, when are the good days really coming? I don't know. Not until the Glazers go. Henderson says, United won't win the league until 2033. That will be lucky. Dino couldn't help. Dino, mate. Dino. Legend of this channel. United should wait until the summer. After the World Cup, there will be lots of top-class managers available. What bad about today's game? Still can't defend. We can't defend. The midfield is crap. The midfield is awful. They ran through us. But look, we will get on. We will get on to... Silver Space says, obviously you need to change your glasses. I think there's a whole bunch of people in this chat, my friend, who would disagree with you. My glasses work perfectly fine because if you think today that was good, I feel really, really sorry for you, because if you think that was good today, ridiculous. United fans don't know how good you have it. try being a Torino fan. I take the point. I take the point. I take the point. Ask Luke Shaw and Delo why they drew. They know it best. Fair point. Bring Big Sam in, somebody with a real backbone. Shake this team up. Put players in a shirt that want to win for the club and fans. Exactly, my friend. Look, I think, and it's true. It's true. It's true. It really is true. It really is true. Rob says, JB, your thoughts on Ollie possibly coming in as the caretaker and who you want as the permanent manager. So, Rob, you probably missed it. I said it this morning, and I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. Is this so? Look, after the Leeds game, well, I've been communicating with a person now for quite some time. It all started basically with the transfer window. I kept saying that we're not going to get players. We're not going to sign players. It's going to be a Gallagher or that's it. We're not going to sign players. That's all came from this person. This person then told me after the Leeds match, straight after, that's why I came on and basically said that watch the next couple of hours because Amorim is going to get the sack and Fletcher will be installed for the game. Now, this morning and last night, I got told again that basically Ollie has basically put himself forward. The club like the idea because Ollie is going to be cheap. Ollie basically will work with these players. Ollie is not going to push the button. He's basically perfect. However, Carrick was coming in today to interview for the job. Now, I had a text during the stream to basically with eyes. I'm watching. So basically, as it stands from what I've been told, is that depending on how today's game went and depending on the kickback, they would be looking to announce somebody soon as they can. Now, it's thought it's going to be Ollie on the basis that they need somebody who's going to come in that can distract the fans. Now, Carrick, they really, really like Carrick, but they see Ollie as the perfect front man to come in to front this out and be the fall guy because, they listen to people on social media. They want the biggest distraction as possible. And the biggest distraction between Carrick and Ollie is going to be an Ollie. So I would say to you, look, again, I can't stand the word source. My contributor has been right on two things so far. He's been right on the transfer window, which I've kept saying to you. He's been right on the Fletcher and the Amorim sacking as well. So he's gone full ball and basically said that Ollie, watch after tonight's game because if we lose tonight or we have a bad game tonight, they're going to basically. The reason why they are sort of trying to hold it back is because they want a whole team first. But according to them, Ollie is the one to watch out for, unless tonight there is an absolute big, massive shift after this game. Watch out tomorrow, next couple of hours tomorrow for Ollie. Amorim has gone. Would it be a good time to go for Goldbridge on a long-term basis? You go for it. Eric Singh says, hi, hello Eric. Are you watching the African Cup of Nations? I'm not, mate. Amorim playing Football Manager. Jose has LVG in head, in a headlock. Moyes is still looking for the toilet. Ollie, Giggs, Fletch, all giggling in the corner. Ten Hag is trying to convince us he's a good coach. Sacking a man for simply defending himself is a joke. Jack Bridger, I love it, mate. I love the comment. Absolute yes, mate. Yes. Ingratia says, hi, hello. He must be bringing managers down after formation building defence strong. Nope. So effectively, Ollie's being used as a smokescreen to hide the absolute mess. Yes. Yeah. Exactly that. I feel United won't bring in any manager that will stand up to the board, not Roy Keane or someone with his attitude and passion. Eric says, absolutely shambolic football in the middle of the park. Why did Fletcher sub Bruno? The moment he made the sub change of football went down. Look, Bruno Fernandez is a debate that's going to rumble on. I'm not watching the African Cup of Nations. No, I'm not going to do that. Look, we might as well do the match reaction stuff now. It's like 10:30, so we might as well go through the match stuff now. So let me know about what you think about the match. Let me know what you thought about the match. We can go through it. First thing I wanted to say before the offset is there are some individual things, and I think somebody said it basically at the comments there, right? Is thanks for the update. Would you be happy with Ollie, but who do you want? So Rob, am I happy with Ollie? No. I don't really care. Am I happy? And the reason why I'm not happy is because Simon Jordan today made a really, really, really good point, right? When you bring in Ollie, who basically you paid off 10 million, you paid him off, and you're willing to bring the guy back you paid off. In no walk of life, I've never experienced it, whereby if you pay somebody off in a business, you do not bring them back. You basically sack this guy, 10 million payout, and you're going to bring him back into the club. Like, how idiotic and how incompetent is that? And it's nothing against the man. It's the symbolism of how idiotic is this club that they're willing to bring back a manager they paid off. Make it make sense to me. Because I think that would be an absolute bonehead move. Right? I will have to accept it. It doesn't matter. The one thing I am not going to do, and this is probably going to turn people off, and I fully accept this will turn people off. Until there is change at this club, every stream I'm going to try to mention the Glazers and Ineos because I want them gone. The one thing we cannot do is give up. The one thing we cannot do is think that this is a pointless thing. Thanks, Rich. The one thing that we can't do, I mean, that is a lot of time, isn't it? Love it. Thanks, mate. Thanks, sir. I want these guys gone. We cannot now stop. If we don't take this opportunity, and look, we may never get rid of these people, right? But we have to keep this up now, because if we don't, we're screwed. This is our last chance. This is our last chance to have an attempt at getting these people out, and we absolutely have to take this opportunity to get these people out. If we give up now, which I will not do on stream, to get these arseholes out, it's it. That's it. So look, I know that's a long-winded answer to the question. Who would I take as a permanent manager? The permanent manager that I would take would be Emery. Because unless we get owners in who are going to invest in this club, I need a manager who is Premier League proven. I need a manager who is used to working on a budget. I need a manager who is used to basically crap. Villa, I'm not saying that they were shit, but you look at what Villa have had to deal with, and you look at what he has done in that squad. It is magnificent. So I want Emery. Emery is not coming. If this was a big club, what we would do is we would go and hand over a checkbook and basically say, we want your manager. This is an amount of money, but we are not that club. So, and again, I think as somebody said it there, we want a yes man. So I would go for Emery, Eddie Howe right now. But if you're asking me any coach in the entire world, who would I go for as a coach in the world? I don't know. I really don't know. But that is a good question. Like, favourite and subscribe. Even if we had that, we wouldn't win. Peepo does gaming, says hi. Hello. Steve says the team is cursed. Eric Singh says Amorim was right about Kobe. He's nowhere near Bruno. I think after sacking Amorim, the board should also sack themselves. Basically, Ineos out for me, says Rob. I agree. Genuine Guy says every game is the same. Disgraceful disappointment as it is week in, week out. For my loyalty to the club is steadfast, but it's embarrassing to wear the shirt and build pressure to get them out. No doubt. And this is it, right? This is what I will always say about us fans, right? Is we will endure. We will be here long after the Glazers are gone. I may not be here, but we will be here. These owners are just custodians of this club. They think they own it, but they don't. Fans will be here longer than these owners, right? That is just a fact, right? That is just a fact. The question now for me is this. We know we are not going to, we don't have owners who are going to invest in this squad. As it was proven, as it's been proven, if you go against the owners in any way, shape or form, you get sacked. This is the mafia, right? What we need to focus on here is we need to focus on getting the Glazers out. We need to focus on the protests. I'm not saying to people, because it's easy for me to sit here and say to people, you need to do this and you need to do that. That is not right. People need to, through their own choice, come to the conclusion that this is not right and we want to do something. So people like the 1958, those are and other fan groups. The thing about those groups is people I don't think get is they won't do things unless they've got the backing of the fans, and that is the correct way to be. They respect people's opinions. So this is what I will always say. If you are the Glazers out, contact the fan groups and just say, if you want to do the protests, we will agree to it. I'm not saying that you have to go, but they need backing. They need to know that the fan base is behind them. This channel is. I am. I will absolutely back them the whole way. I will happily have them. For me, I will happily have them on this channel. I will happily support them. I'll happily promote anything that they want to promote. I think that this is what we need to do as a fan base, is congregate together and now really look to push and get these people out. That's my rant. The rot is at the top and it rots down to the club. The fans have to watch their favourite thing rot and they can't do anything about it. Big Sam for United, people have been saying Enrique. The owners need a yes man, so they'll choose Ollie because of the media and the legends. Ollie is a yes man, and if he does well, he might stay. Where do you see United in 5 years? Harif, I see United in exactly the same position that we are now. I don't see a change. I do not see a change. I think we will be in the same place as we have been for the last 5 years. We need some more players. Yes, I agree. The same as now. Yeah, Eric says no top four. Now these owners will bring an average coach to lead average players from going nowhere. And guys, I hate to be. I'm never going to be that guy that says I was right. Okay, because on this occasion, being correct about something doesn't make it right. All season, I've predicted we're going to finish between 8th and 10th. And it looks like we are. It is just, it's awful. The genuine guy says, at the moment, every week I travel from Weymouth to Old Trafford. I would like to see United side that can play at Premier League level. And we don't listen to supporters. We are your club and not the Glazers. Exactly. Look, this is why for anybody, and I will repeat this time and time again, right? It's okay for us to watch as fans, right? A fan is a fan is a fan. We will watch football, right? The one thing we don't get a sense of, I don't think we do, is actually being at the ground. And the reason why it's important to acknowledge the match-going fans is because they are the ones that travel to the games. It's bloody freezing. They travel to the games. They could be, like me. Now I'm at home. I'm comfortable, right? The fans, the home and the away fans, they go to matches. They go out in the cold. They spend their money. And these players play in front of these people. These people are on the pitch, right? They can literally see the faces. They can literally see the faces of the fans on the pitch. How can that not inspire you? How can that not inspire you on the pitch? And look, it came out, I can't remember if it came out from Laurie Whitwell, and basically said it was an article that came out about the players, basically saying, "Oh, we think we should have some more respect because the fans they don't sorry not the fans the ex-players they're telling us that we should be better but the pressure they should understand the pressure of playing in this club because it's so hard. We get paid 200 grand a week and it's so hard. We can't do it. We play one game a week and we can't do it. It's so hard, and please stop it. It's so hard." These are the players that we had. Who did it? It was Christian Eriksen, right? He came out and he was basically saying the same things. Oh, we should get more respect because we won a Carabao Cup, and people don't understand the pressure. People don't understand the pressure. They don't get it. It's so hard being a multi-million fucking heir. It's so difficult to have millions of fans adore you. There are people out there who don't know how they're going to basically heat their house from 1 week to the next. There are people who are going to food banks, right? There are people who work their arse off and can barely afford their bills. And these cretins, these fucking moron players, are moaning that it's a pressure. That pressure playing for this club should be an honour. The pressure of playing for this club should be an honour. The fact that you're pressured means that you are at the top of your game and you are the best of the best of the best. Not moaning because it's so hard going home to my mansion. It's so hard. I can't believe it. I've got to go home to my mansion. Oh, I've got my millions of pounds and my fast car. And there are people that go to games who've been going to games since they were children, who've seen their uncles, their granddads, their fathers, some of those who may not be here now. And they are fucking moaning about pressure. They don't understand what pressure is. They have no idea what pressure means. They are so detached from real life. And these are the players that still play in this club. These are the players that the home fans, the away fans have to go and watch these players. All they care about is their social media. All they care about is that they score. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They care about themselves. Rant over. Let me get through the chat. I don't see what the point in getting rid of Ruben was. There's no one available right now. Whoever comes in is just keeping us coasting until the summer. And this is what we said on here. This is what I said on here. This is what Dino said on here. Nikarutsu said on here as well. Scott said on here as well. Is Ruben should stay until the summer because there isn't anybody here. The reason why Ruben was sacked was because Ruben spoke out against these cretins. Selwyn says, maximum respect, John. Selwyn, legend. That was horrible. Lucha making a game slow. We are pathetic. I'm not impressed. We showed no intensity, no fight. I can't understand why we always slow the game down. Because of these, I keep saying, and it is these players. Josh says, hi, good evening. Nice to be here again. Thank you, Josh. Certain players are already on their summer holiday, says Dino. Hi, mate. Nobody says disappointing. Yes. Who says it's sad to see United in this state. Hopefully in the next decade or so, they don't fall down the football pyramid. Hope not. Switch says, do you think the next permanent manager will try to reintegrate Rashford? I hear Barca are not going to make the deal permanent. If there's an option of Rashford, and I will keep my ear to the ground on this, by the way. If it's Ollie, and I'm pretty sure, don't be surprised if in this window Rashford comes back. The only thing I loved about Ruben is the honesty with the fans, like Jose did. The problem is not in every manager. This team bringing the system in the place that works. Sometimes they look like schoolboys out there saying that my boy plays under 12s and they play better football than us at most weekends. Do you think the next... I've done that one. Get those pundits like Scholes and Keenan on butt, and Neville, let's see them put their money where their mouth is. Neville did, and so did Scholes. Neville managed Valencia on their worst run in history. Scholesy went to Oldham and couldn't hack it. Ernest says, agreed. Thanks, buddy. I don't even think someone as powerful as Enrique could sort this mess out. It's like the spark has gone out. They are light switch players. One who says, road points secured, excellent results. Eric says, sell Kobe, Xerxes, Ugarte, Casemiro, Delo, Luke Shaw to fund buying of Elliot Anderson, Wharton, Baleba, then look for Tusim, who's equal the caliber of Lisa. Eric, mate, it's not happening. Eric, it is not happening. It is not going to happen. Kobe Mainu is now going to stay. Kobe Mainu will stay. Xerxes is on a long contract. Xerxes possibly will be sold. Ugarte, Dallo, Luke Shaw. There is no buyers for these players. I don't respect any United player at the moment. I feel I need to support the team, but no individual at all. No one deserves it. I agree with you. I really hate the tactic of playing out from the back. I really hate the style of football. We're not that team. We're not Barcelona or City. We play fast counter-attacking football. When did the ethos change? I'd like to hear the comments on the players of this match. Football is magic. I mean, get those pundits in as manager. No, agreed, completely. And the only good thing about bringing in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer back is the old players will stay for good. Ugarte wanted in Turkey. I hope so. I really, really hope so. I don't see what made us buy Ugarte. All I see is him giving the ball away and running around looking lost. Replace Ugarte with a box-to-box midfield. Look, Phoenix, I'd love to. I would love to. I really, really would. I just unless the problem is with Ugarte is unless we can make money back on him, and I'm not talking about here selling him for like a profit. This camera's doing my head in. I'm talking about here. I'm talking about we can't make a book loss on him. We cannot make a book loss on him. So therefore, we unless somebody can either loan him, take all of the wages, he's not going to go anywhere. Top three midfielders that I would like. Who do I realistically think that we can get? Baleba is the one that I think that we'll get, basically on the basis that he wants to come to the club. Anderson is not. Please don't believe the spin. Anderson is not coming. If I was going to get three midfielders right now, bang for buck, I would go and get a Gallagher, £25 million. Neves would be £15 million, and Gomez from Wolves would be around about £40 million. So for £70 million, you could get three players. That is what 100%. Sam says the only positive I saw tonight was Lacey in his short stint. Šeško scoring 2 goals, especially the second goal. Was Zlatan for the moment was good to see. They can actually get the ball to the strikers. Agree. Look, the positives for me tonight are basically Lacey. I mean, what a cameo! Absolutely, Lacey tonight. What a cameo! Absolutely, just fantastic. Šeško scoring 2 as well. Absolutely great tonight. Phoenix says Anderson, Baleba. Phoenix, look. I love the opinion. I really, really do. Right. I want you guys on here to be as positive. Look, if you guys want to say that we're going to get Zidane and he's going to bring in Mbappe and he's going to bring in Stiller and he's going to bring in these fantastic players, good. That is what I think you guys should do. Whatever gets you through is fine, right? Anderson's not coming. Baleba, will he still come? I don't know. I think we need more than 2. We are not that team. Like, after tonight, and let's talk about the match. The match tonight was absolutely crap, right? So, what is abundantly clear to me, we need players. We need quantity, quality. We don't need... Look, Anderson... I don't understand our obsession in wanting to go and get the world-class, big buck, amazing midfielder, right? Whether Anderson is, fine. But I don't understand why this fan base wants a marquee player when we don't have the team for him to go in. Do you honestly believe, and this is just a question, this is not aimed at any single body, do we genuinely believe if we get 2 centre midfielders, that's going to fix the squad? I think it will help, but do you think getting in 2 midfield players is going to solve the problem? What about when one of those midfielders gets injured? Right? This is why we need a Neves. This is why we need a Gallagher. We need good quality squad players. If you look at United, right, it is all there for you to see. If you look at Liverpool, City, right, if you look at United, and what I'm saying is, I'm not harking back to the past because they were fantastic days, but just look at the data, right? Look at the information that is there. You build a team of 1 or 2 or 3 world-class players. You put a spine in. You supplement that team with good players. You also supplement it with players who will play for the team. And I'll mention things like O'Shea, Nicky Butt, Philip Neville, Fletcher. I've said O'Shea. Cleverly, you've got those Hernandez, Brian McClare, right? Those are players who wouldn't start every single game, right? But when called upon, Park is probably Solskjaer and Park, right? Those two, the epitome of players that we need. I don't keep wanting to buy marquee signings. For that one marquee sign for £80 million, you can get 2 or 3 squad players. Selwyn says, John, I've got big respect for you, but it's almost time. Yes, mate. Thank you, my friend. I will see you another night, my friend. Take it easy and take care, my friend. Nobody says, I prefer Wharton over Anderson. I personally see more from Wharton. Anderson will choose to go to City. Screw this. Let's go with Southgate and make a full English Brexit team with Maguire up front. Nothing else has worked. 100% Lacey is a star in the making. It's he's nurtured the right way. He can be a very special indeed. Money Dixon says, yes. Hello. John, you've done that one. Are the rumours true of us being interested in young winger Diamonde at Leipzig? Watched him at the AFCON yesterday. Played very well alongside Ahmad. The rumours are true. The rumours are true. Right? The rumours are true. But Diamonde is going to cost you 80 million. Right now, he's a £100 million player, but are we going to go? Do we need a Diamonde? This is what we need. And look, I know it's boring. I know that people don't really listen sometimes, or people care about this stuff. But signings are not going to solve this. We need a whole new team. We are not going to buy 6 or 7 players. We also need a manager who's competent. Ineos, Glinios, and the Glazers have shown their hand. The mistake that they've done is they've shown their hand, and we all need to be aware of this. They don't want a manager. They want a scapegoat. They want a yes man. They want somebody who's going to be their puppet. Any manager, Ranić, Amorim, any manager that goes against them gets sacked. So we now know who they want. Let's have a little look. This says Ruben, Neves and Gallagher are no-brainers if available for that price. Yeah, they are. Neves is available for around 15 to 20 million. Gallagher is available for around 26 million, I believe. It's really not difficult. You need a balance of everything: youth, courage, success, talented players in their prime with confidence, and experienced winners. Exactly. Along with a competent manager and get rid of the deadwood like Shaw and Maguire. Dimonde is a very talented lad, but 100 mil is overpriced. I think 60 might be so, but he's not needed right now. I do agree. Steve says, what will happen to the academy players with the next manager? Do we expect the same, or will there be a change? It's difficult to know. What I think this club wants is Wilcox to be in charge. Wilcox thinks he's in charge. Jason fucking Wilcox, who doesn't know what this club is, has no idea, thinks that he can walk into this club like a boss. What has he done? He's power hungry. They all are. This is about their egos. This is about their power. And Glinios and Sir Jim and Ineos and the Glazers have given Wilcox and Omar power. Wilcox really thinks he is the big man on campus. Wilcox, I do not trust him at all. I'm trying not to be personal here. He really thinks that he is something. This is a guy. What's his pedigree? What makes him best in class? And this is a question. What makes Wilcox best in class? What's he done? What's he done? Why is he the best in class? He's not. What about Omar Barada? I celebrated because I thought, Sir Jim, has done a good thing here. He's managed to go to City. He's managed to get his man. Manchester City knew what they were doing. They're not stupid, and we lapped it up. It's absolutely ridiculous that we've let Wilcox, and again, an adequacy. We were promised this best in class, and the most incompetent thing about the whole of this. At the end of the day, we'll give Ruben 3 years. I'm not going to be swayed by the media opinion. We'll give Ruben 3 years, right? They did a strategic review, right? This is probably one of the most laughable things I have ever seen, right? They did a strategic review of this club. Any business, before they buy an asset, will go and look at projections of future, of the earnings, right? They'll look at the assets. They'll look at as a business. They will go and look at this and go, is everything in place for us to invest in this business, right? They did a strategic review with a guy who is basically the guy on bikes. They did a strategic review. They looked at the debt, right? And they still decided to buy into this club, looking at an aging squad. And they still decided to buy into this club, which is an absolute laugh. And then they went and hired Jason Wilcox. What an absolute fucking shambles. From start to finish, we were promised best in class. We got Timu. We got Wish. We got whatever else is out there. We got the utter shit. Switch said, I won't miss anyone. The longer we wait, Madrid will snap him up. Yes. How can anyone know when we don't know who the manager will be? We should get Neves now. Others will come in for him. I agree with you. Did you see that clip of Wilcox from September? He was saying how he's a coach and he wants to step even into his position. Hence why we heard so much about a back four being forced onto Amorim. Jason Wilcox hasn't got a fucking clue. He's an egotistical idiot. He ain't got a clue. You know, he ain't got a clue. He hasn't got a clue. I'll be personal about Wilcox. He's got an ego problem. He thinks he's bigger and better than he is. He knows sod all. Agree. He doesn't know what this club is. He has no idea. Johnny Hill says, I did some more research on how people feel after the game. I'm seeing more hate for Kobe. I am for Casemiro, Shaw, Delo and Xerxes. Getting rid of Wilcox and bringing back Dan Ashworth would be a great thing. That's never going to happen, mate. Never going to happen. Paul Wales, we won't change until the club is sold fully. Paul, agree with you. Mr. JT, I'm so finished. Wilcox has to leave this club. The hate for Manu after full time is pretty bad, to be fair. This is the worst I've ever felt about us in years. Not because of the score, I'm used to that, but because of where the club is, and it won't get any better under these owners. And Jason Wilcox, we got best in arse. Love that. Steve, will you tell from what these guys in the past you've answered your own question? It's just shambles. It's just an embarrassing shambles. So let's quickly get on to the game. Before I go, let's quickly get on to the game. Look, there isn't much to say about the game. Let's be fair. Gasbang says Gasbag says James, you're entitled to your opinion. The only thing I'll say on here, James, is like we don't mind banter, right? I have no problem with banter, James. Right? No problem. The only thing I will say is if that's aimed at me, you're getting very, very close to the mark. And what I mean is that I don't mind banter, absolutely fine. But what I won't accept is when you get personal about me or another person in the chat. You've been warned. Jimmy, Jimmy, thank you, my friend. Absolute legend. Players have the break-in strain of a Kit Kat. Jimmy Cecil, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Absolute legend. Appreciate the support of the channel. As always, my friend, absolute legend. And I do agree. Players do have the break-in strain of a Kit Kat or a breadstick. So it says Berard and Willie Cox should be removed from the post, but by the board, also by James. Also by James. It's true. Look, let's get on to the game. What's to say from the game? Look, it was basically the same game as we saw against Wolves. Were we as bad as we were against Wolves? No. Was it great? No. What did we see? Jimmy, you're right, my friend. Absolute legend. And again, mate, thank you for the super chat. It is appreciated. They are spineless. They are spineless. Who would you appoint as the manager, says Chris? I would, and again, I don't mind repeating it, I would go for Emery. If that was my choice right now, because I know what this team is, I know what... Unless we get rid of the owners, which I don't think that we will, we've got to be realistic and go for a manager who's going to come in and do something with this budget that we've got. It's not going to be high. You've got Wilcox now, who is an absolute tosser. He's got no clue, right? So you're going to have to come in and work with that shit as well. Emery for me, or an Arola, or a Glasner. What we can't have here right now is we can't have somebody that stands up to Ineos, the Glazers, because they don't like it. So sadly, all of the managers that I would want would be mouthpieces, would be pushback. They would want their squad and they wouldn't care. There is no way. So look, we're going to need Brendan Rodgers, Southgate even. I mean, Southgate has apparently ruled himself out, by the way. That's fine with me. But they've basically shown you and I what they are going to do, because they want a manager who they want a coach. They want a head coach, because Wilcox and co think that they're shit dumbs things. They think that they really know. And Brad, look, Xavi, I really, really like that idea. He is not not going to come, mate, at all. So they're weak, they're spineless. Look, I'm not going to spend too much on the game. I thought defensively, we looked flaky in parts. We played a 3 midfield. We played a midfield pivot. We played a 4-2-3-1. Šeško, look, you give Šeško the ball. And he will score. The positive for me tonight is some of the things that we've been saying on here about Šeško isn't crap. Šeško isn't a flop. You give him the ball, he will score. I'm so glad for him tonight. Personally, I am glad for him tonight. Lacey came on, was like a bright spark. Lacey coming on tonight was fantastic. What a bright spark. If you manage that kid, he's going to be a special kid. The rest of the team fits and starts spineless. What we saw tonight, Casemiro shooting from all over the shop. Casemiro hasn't done that the whole season. Casemiro will always take a pot shot, but tonight he tried at least 3 or 4. Right? The discipline completely went. You know, I felt sorry tonight again for the back. Well, not the back four. Dalot, Luke Shaw. And look, this is not a witch hunt. I know Grace in the chat, and look, Grace, I apologise. Okay. Dalot and Luke Shaw tonight. Where were they? How are they getting into this team? They're getting into this team because we have inadequate players. They are not good enough. Casemiro is not good enough. We've got these players. Mason Mount, when he came on, what did Mason Mount do? You know, Bruno Fernandez hasn't played for 3 games. He came back. What did he do? This team is annihilated. This team is absolutely just done. You didn't even get the bounce tonight. You didn't even get the manager bounce. There is nothing in this team. This team is like a flat ball. This team has got no bounce in it. This team is full of me players. This team is full of players who just haven't got a clue. These are a mishmash of different people's players, and they can't play a back 4. They can't play a back 3. They are coasting. They know that we have written this season off. The ridiculousness of that is many of you have been saying that we're going to go into a top 4 race. I disagree with that, but look, I'm going to not pander cheating up. I'm going to give you, your say. We're technically still in a race for top 4, right? We're halfway through the season. Are Wilcox, Barada, Ineos, the Glazers going to write this season off right now when the very thing that they want, if they invest in a couple of players and a manager, they could potentially get top 4. But they would rather write off the season because it's cheaper. They would rather write off the season because they don't want to spend the money. Because guess what, people? They can't spend the money. They are in debt. And this is when you know about the Glazers. People, it is all there. They are in debt. They can't spend the money. There is no money there. Simple as that. Let's go through it. In a picture, Wilcox is 100% a knobhead. I agree with you. I'll take Ted Lasso at this point because it doesn't matter who we've had with these owners, Brendan Rodgers or Harry Redknapp. Are there any United manager could be Enzo because Wilcox wanted him before and they both worked at City? I've heard that rumour as well. Southgate, in a perfect world, I'd be a roller from Bournemouth, but we are shambles and I don't think we'll succeed with anyone at this point. As long as the players know that they can barely perform and outlast the manager, it doesn't matter who we get. I think, Jimmy, that's a very, very, very good point. It was only Burnley, but goes from Shaska will add the much needed confidence. I do agree. With hungry players like Lacey should have been given so-called experienced players the right kick up the bum. Nicaruzi, I hope so. Nobody's hungrier than the kids who have something to prove, to get experience, get the position and big money contracts. I'd honestly give up a year's income for Sean Delo to be sold immediately. Keep smiling, says United are going around in circles. This team couldn't challenge for a EuroLeague spot, let alone Champions League. Instagram players, $2,500 haircut, here for wages players, crooks, cowardice clowns. Agree with you completely. We're a top 4 team in the Championship. Start to fine them for a week's wages for a loss and see them in court get the kids in. Yeah. So look, the game, I'm not going to spend too much time in it. What we will get on, I guarantee. I know who will do it, but I'm not going to name his name. I know somebody that will be on here probably tomorrow telling me that we had 20 shots on goal. We had, possession-wise, we had 65% possession. We were the better team. They were lucky. Nah. This is what I say about stats. We were lethargic. We were second to the ball, and we had chances crossed off the line, but we weren't good. I thought we were lethargic. We were just awful tonight. We played okay in patches, but then Burnley come back at us. Burnley came back at us. Burnley deserved it. They wanted it more than us. They played better than us. I thought they wanted the ball more. I thought they were better with the ball. We were more interested in passing it from side to side. Casemiro couldn't pass to save shit. Bruno Fernandez, he tried some stuff, but again, Fernandez went back to type tonight. He was everywhere. Bruno Fernandez tonight was so ill-disciplined tonight because he does that role where he wants to do everybody's job, and that's what he did tonight. Bruno Fernandez tonight reverted back to type, and you saw the real Bruno Fernandez basically just running around the pitch. Heaven was okay. Martinez, fine. Luke Shaw, Dallo, awful. Dorgu's a good player. He's lively, but again, because of the structure around him, he couldn't do anything. Shesko for me was the bright spark. Shesko for me today was that type of striker that you want when you're not playing well, but he gets you goals. If he can do that, for most games, then you've got yourself a player. I would rather take Shesko being quiet and then scores goals. That is what I want from a striker. So look, Shesko today for me, easy peasy, the man of the match. Lacey came on as well. A highlight, absolute brilliant. What a bright spark. What an absolute bright spark that kid is. I've not smiled like that in a while. Absolutely fantastic. Mainu, Mason Mount, Yoro, Azerxi, and I'm not even going to score them tonight. I'm not even doing a separate reaction show tonight because that was awful again. Just absolutely awful. Let's have a look at what you're saying. Jimmy says you were right. Champion teams would outrun and outwork us. Who would you drop? Would you drop anyone on purpose to scare them without losing their place? Yeah, I would do. Luke Shaw would be dropped. Deloy, he'd be dropped. I would drop Fernandez because what I want to do is I want to send a message to this club, right? Is that you guys do not run the club. Bruno Fernandez, yes, I'm sure you're a lovely guy, but you are a player. I am the manager. It's not you here and me there. It's me. And when you take over a club or you're going to send a message, you send a message by defeating the strongest. So you basically, if this was the savannah or the jungle, and you want to go in and you want to be the leader, you take out the current leader. You take out, or you show the person who's in charge, I'm bigger than you. So what I would do is I would come in and say, Fernandez, I want a different team. This is nothing on you, mate. You're 32 years old. You're done. You're done. Luke Shaw, you have sacked more coaches than I've had fucking showers. All right? Go. And take your Portuguese friends. Portuguese friends. Friends. Bruno, friends. Delo, friends. Portuguese, Luke, friends. Friends. Take them with you. That is what I would do. And I would make them so that they sat on the bench together in their little hats and gloves, and they're all sat, and I'd focus the camera on them the whole night and watch their faces. But that's just me. Burnley were lucky they outplayed us. I do agree. JB says, I'm disappointed in the result, but I'm happy for Shesko. The change of formation seems to work for him, and Bruno's return helped too. Let's not forget Burnley are they are an up and down club, and we got a draw. I will safely say and bet the day United is sold is the day the Glazers run United into the Championship. Manchester is bad. Benjamin Shesko Fender terrorised defences. Lacey a bright spark because he cares. Bruno should have been sold to Saudi a while back. Yes, I agree. I don't think anyone should feel bigger than the club. I remember Jose taking the captaincy off of Pogba, and it was the big ordeal, but it was the right thing to do. I wonder what your wife and kids think every time they hear their daddy, hey, Portuguese friend. They already think I'm mental. They already think I'm a bit mad, to be fair. The wife thinks the wife probably thinks that the wife thinks that I'm having an affair. I think because I go into a different room. I'm talking to somebody else. I'm sure. I think my wife thinks I'm on some sort of like some sort of site, some sort of special website. I promise her that I'm not. I promise her that I'm fully clothed at don't I? Wanted Bacon says, nice to see 6 attacking players at the end of the game. That's the way to do it. Lacey, what player? I agree. Lacey, what a fantastic player. There are fans calling it a positive performance when Hannibal locked us down 30. Who's calling it positive? How was that positive? Mummy and Dad is a screaming friend. In between hers. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Scott Parker did really well in this game because he dropped the press just before half. 15, 20 minutes in. The second half, Parker made subs. Top from the draw, control nothing. Can't believe they sacked Amorim. I mean, morning. Agree with Eugene. Agree with you completely. I think it's an absolute. I think it's a travesty. But look, do you know what? I'm not going to back away from it. What I am going to do is I am going to score the players. Let's score the players. Right? Let's score the players. Right? I'm not going to hide away from it. I'm going to score the players tonight. Right? Let's score the players. Nick Caruso, yeah. Sully says, I take a round of channels. There are people happy with their. Honestly, Sully, mate, it is ridiculous. Hi, Tulip legend. So look, I'm going to score these players. I'm not going to hide away from it. Tonight. Larmins, I think today gets 6. I wasn't going to, but do you know what? Sod it. I'm going to score them. Let's just score them, right? Because that is we've got to watch this dross. So we might as well score them, right? Chip says every opposition team just gives everything top bins against us. A small part of it is, but we have to do better. I love the shirt. Yes, this shirt is a legendary shirt. I absolutely do love this shirt. Sally says 5.56 for Le Mans. Yeah, agreed. I think look, Le Mans, was it an average performance? I don't really think he was tested really today. 5.5, 6. Delo for me 4. I don't think he had a great game. I don't think he didn't offer anything today. 4 for me, and that's probably the kindest thing that I can say. Martinez, I'm glad he's back. Mistake, I think, for one of the goals. I thought he looked a little bit off of the pace today. I think being back. Jimmy says Shaw gets a 2 because he ate 1. Yeah. Hilarious. So Martinez today for me was I'd have to give him 4.5, maybe 5. Maybe that's a bit. Don't know. I thought he didn't have a standard performance today. A standard performance to me is a 6. Martinez 4. Heaven I thought was unlucky. Look, I just thought for whatever reason today, I just thought that they just looked off a bit. Heaven today, I'm going to be kinder. Look, I'm going to be kinder on Heaven because he's a young player, right? I'd give Heaven a 5.5, 6 today. Look, he's a young player. He's been asked to come into the squad, and I think he's doing a fantastic job. So 5.5, 6 for me. Luke Shaw 3, 4. Probably 3's too low. 4.5 maybe. I don't know what Luke Shaw is why he's still here. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So for me 4. Casemiro 5. Easy peasy. Pot shots wasn't great. 5. Bruno Fernandez. Bruno Fernandez 6, maybe a 5.5, maybe 6. It wasn't great for him today. Some people could argue a 7, not for me. I would always judge him higher. I will always judge him higher on the basis that he is the captain, right? A captain's performance for this club has to be a 7, and I will also hold him accountable, right? Because he sets the standard. So for me, I don't think he was a 7. I probably wouldn't go as low as a 5. I would probably go somewhere between a 5.5 to 6 today. I don't think he was great today. I thought it was average, and that's being kind. Ugarte 5. Ugarte can't pass to save his life. Ugate's literally like a running piece of meat. He's literally there as a body. It's like Weekend at Bernie's. I don't know if anybody has seen that film, Weekend at Bernie's, where there's a guy who dies, and they basically have to pretend that like he's alive. He's basically that. Dorgu, Dorgu, 6. Right, again, a young player. Did he have the greatest game? No, but he always looks like he's trying to do something, and I like that about him. He does look sharp. I do like him. Cunha today for me. Cunha was impacted by Bruno Fernandez. Simple as that. Simple as that. You can't have Bruno Fernandez and Cunha in basically the same space. You can't have Bruno Fernandez and Cunha in that same space. It doesn't work. So I thought that Bruno impacted his game a lot. Cunha was quiet, 5. Shesko for me today, 7. 7 all day long for me today. Took his goals well, scored the goals. You know, what I like about Shesko, he's keeping his head down, he's working hard, and he's getting goals. For me, I would give Shesko, I'd give Shesko at least a 7. For his 2 goals in his performance today, I think you could argue 7.5 and 8. It's difficult for him. It's difficult. So look, I think somewhere between a 7 and an 8. I think it really depends on your opinion, right? I would score him probably 7.5 to 8. Probably on an 8. Xerxes didn't really do much. Mason Mount 5-6. Xerxes 5-6. Lacey for me is getting a 7. At least a 7. Shea Lacey is getting a 7.5, 7. Right? Shea Lacey came on that pitch, showed more desire, more courage, more tenacity than what I've seen out of some of these players the whole season. And isn't it funny? Isn't it really, 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 really funny, right? How Heaven, Dorgu, Shesko, Lacey are the ones who are the bright sparks in this team. But she said, how does a man score twice in an average team and get a 7? Well, because you can sit on your ass and do fuck all game and get 2 goals. Literally, that's his job. I will score Shesko an 8. Shesko is not a 9. Shesko wasn't a 9 today, right? Simple as that. Shesko today, was for me, for a striker to get a 9, right, he has to terrorise a back four, right? It's not Shesko's fault, by the way. I would give Shesko an 8 tonight. Shesko is nowhere near a 9. Just because you score goals doesn't make you a 9, right? Or a 10. Shesko for me today was an 8. When Shesko starts to score goals and terrorise people, then yes. But today wasn't a 9. I get what people will say a 7.5 or an 8. I would score him an 8 today, and I think I'd score him an 8 because he really needed those goals. So for me, I'd give him an 8. Lacey for me, Lacey 7.5. Absolute. What I'm thinking about him playing today. Absolute, just quality player, and you can tell when you watch football for as long as we have. You can tell a good player. He is a phenomenal player. What do I score Fletcher today? Look, I give Fletcher an 8 today. And the reason why I give Fletcher an 8 today is because what is he supposed to do with his bag of shit? You could score Fletcher a 9 or 10 today. And the reason why it sounds so mad is because what is Fletcher supposed to do? Fletcher today, you could give him any score. The guy is, you can see, if you watch Fletcher today, and if you watched what he did at the end of the game today, he knows this team is dog shit. He's stepped up to the mount. He's put out a team in probably our worst team. He's missing a bunch of players, and he's prepared to stand there front up in front of everybody. So for me, Fletcher just for doing that, for me, is an 8 today. Look, he couldn't do anything wrong today. So Fletcher for me. So let me go through the chats before I go. What are we saying here? I can't wait for Brian and Ahmad to be back. I don't know what they're going to do, my friend. If we're getting Bruno gone in the summer, does Cunha play 10 and we have to see Rashford back on the left? I don't see Ineos spending on another attacker. I'm telling you now, watch this space. I will keep you guys informed. I will keep on to my person, and the moment I hear Rashford stuff, I will let you know. Shea burst onto the pitch like a young unknown Rashford, and he's named Falls ever since. I will root and support for that boy. Rashford cannot come back. Yes, he can. He can't, but I'm concerned that he will. Technically, we still have Sancho. Sancho's gone anyway, but yes, here we do. Big Pete says, what you's on about? I've got him changing his score because of what I said. No, it's not, Big Pete. If you listen to what I said I would score him somewhere between a 7 and an 8. 7.5 to 8. That is what I said. I would score him between a 7.5 and an 8. Trust me, Big Pete, Big Chief, you have no impact on what I think will say. I can assure you on that one. Yeah, you're right to be worried. We all make the wrong calls. Ineos won't keep Rashford, Sancho on those wages. They did say Lacey had. He did remind me of Foden a bit, actually. Notice how Amrin Inners are complaining about the manager or the system, but the players, that is the difference between us. Everyone above 150k and over 25 can fuck off. I'd love to be on 150k. Do agree. Ugarte, Casemiro, Shaw was horrible today. Lacey with a breath of fresh air. Paul James Owens, legend, another match-going fan. Give Paul James much love. Match-going fan, absolute legend. Felt for heaven a bit. A lot of times the movement was very lazy. You know, again, Paul. You know, it was a shambles today. You know, Ugarte, Casemiro, Luke Shaw. When those guys go, you know, and if and when they go and we replace those players, Paul, I just hope that we can replace them. JB, did you see my message on heaven? I don't think I did, mate. Let me look. I think I might have missed it, mate. Okay. Interestingly, Heaven's ability to keep his head through adversity is much better than Euro. Euro dropped confidence hard. Agree with you, mate. And look, I'm glad that I read that comment. I really like Heaven. Whoever is responsible for Heaven, make them the chief scout, unless it's Wilcox. If it's Wilcox, he can piss off. Whoever picked up that boy for £1 million, give that man a job, because Aiden Heaven is the sort of defender that we need. Young guy, Euro doesn't want to be here anymore. I think that's clear. I think Euro doesn't want to be here. I don't blame him. I don't think Yoro is up for the fight. I don't think he is. I'm not blaming Yoro, by the way. Yoro is a very, 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 very young guy as well, so let's not forget that. Sally says, I have no issue with how he was set up about the players. It's never the system or Ruben. If you can play 80%, no system will work. 50 for Euro and 1 mil for Heaven is night and day. Agreed. Got to go, JB. Work again tomorrow. Thank you for the watching and your interactions. Got to go. Mate, you are far too kind to me, Nikarutsu legend. So look, guys, I am going to go. Absolute fantastic stream today. Second time round. First off, stuff was a bit up and down, so I changed it, and that seemed to have worked. But look, guys, absolute thank you so much for being here. You guys are legends. You know, we don't always have to agree. I like the fact that we don't always agree. I think it makes these streams better. I think it makes for conversation. I love the interaction. You guys, seriously, you guys are legends. You absolutely help build this channel. Without you guys, this channel doesn't really grow. You guys are phenomenal. And look, it's just a massive thank you, really, for making this channel. Thank you for the support. 2025, 2026, hopefully. So Jonathan Moore says the best streamer on YT. Jonathan, first of all, fantastic name. We've both got the same name. Best streamer or friend, look, I appreciate it. You know, look, the only reason why this channel, you guys think this channel, hopefully thinks this channel is good, is basically because of you guys, right? This channel only exists because of you guys. Otherwise, it's just some middle-aged bloke talking into a camera, looking like an idiot, right? So do not ever underestimate your power and the impact that you have on this channel. So look, guys, this is your channel. This is what I will always endeavour to read out your chats, because it's really important for me, for you guys to get your voices heard. Jimmy Cecil, you are an absolute legend, my friend. Look, thank you so much for the love, buddy. I do appreciate the super chats, mate. You are absolute legend. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you all being in this chat. And I will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what time, but I will be back tomorrow. So look, guys, thank you so much for being here. Exactly. I would literally be in a room on my own, watching the matches, screaming at myself, looking like a right prat. So, and nobody wants to hear a middle-aged man in a room on his own ranting. They don't care. Guys, legends. I will be back tomorrow. I'm JB. This is the United Devil channel. Thank you all for being here. You are legends. And I will be back tomorrow. Don't forget, before I go, just remember what I said about Ollie. Just remember that, what I've said. And I will be back tomorrow. So you guys are legends. I'll see you tomorrow.